Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing out at the Yeet Street UNC course and tournament. Today it will be Westside versus Clash in my manufacturer's challenge that I'm doing. First round's going to be Westside. We do have some potential rain in the forecast, so that could spell doom for whoever gets caught in that, if there is any. But I'll be putting with crowns for round one. And then my throwing putters are going to be the Swan, the Maiden, and the Harp. And my mids are going to be the Anvil, the Tursus, the Warship, and the Pine. And my drivers are going to be the Bear, the Stag, the Hatchet, the Boatman, the Ati, which is the Firebird of Westside, and the Tide. So this should be fun. I've done one practice round with each of these bags, with the Westside and with the Clash, and did very well with both, so this should be a good battle out here today. This is a much more difficult course than what I practiced on, but it should be fun. So let's get into round one and see what happens. Alright, starting on hole 11 here, I'm throwing the Hatchet off the tee. We do have a slight drizzle going on. Made the discs a little bit slippery, but not bad. But threw this first one into the trees on the right. I'm going to take the Tursus here, and this is a different Tursus than the one that was in the intro video. Intro video was a glow Tursus. This was a VIP that I picked up at the course because the glow was a little more stable than I wanted, but this one was flying better. But I had a par putt here on the first hole, and I'm gonna cage it. I'm gonna take a bogey to start. Hole 12, throwing the Warship, trying to do a little turnover backhand here. Started off pretty well, just overcooked it a little bit and got me kicked off to the left side. And this is my first throw with this Anvil. Anvil's a very overstable 4-speed, kind of like a Zone OS, maybe not quite that stable, but close to it. This was for par, and I had a tree in my way, so I kind of had to try to bend it around and went a little bit long, but coming back here for another bogey. Hole 13, throwing the Tide on a forehand. Really good throw out of the hand. It was a little low, but not bad, but it was a good shot. Didn't quite make it to the short grass, but luckily they're not playing this OB in this tournament. You can kind of see it's still raining. Gonna give it a long run, little bit short and left, but finally on the par track here. Throwing the Hatchet here again on hole 14. Looking for a little turnover backhand. Out of the hand, I thought I hit it perfectly, and it came just a little short somehow. Just kind of died about 3/4 of the way there. I expected to be about 20-30 feet closer, but I'll give it a long run for birdie. But we get another par here. 2 pars in a row. Hole 15, throwing the Stag. Had a good rip out of the hand. Hooked up real nice right at the right point and got over the creek. One of my best drives on this hole I think I've ever had, so I was really happy with that. Gonna take the Maiden. This Maiden is a great approach putter. Easy par here. I put that under the basket, just tap in. Gonna try to Hatchet here again in hole 16, just trying to get it to flip up and go straight, and I just keep overturning it just a little bit. End up on the right side of the fairway. take my maiden and just trying to throw it close. And I get it up within bullseye, so it's a tap in for par. Bunch of pars in a row, which I'm happy with. Taking the anvil here, trying it on a forehand flex. Really good out of the hand, and I hit a branch up there, which kind of knocked it down. But got it just over halfway to the basket. I'm just going to toss it up, take my my par and go. But I put this in so you can see exactly how high up that basket is. I'm 6 feet tall, and you know, it's the top of the basket is, you know, above my head there, so pretty tall basket. Hole 18, throw in the Ati on a thumber line, get it out the gap in the middle. Just playing this for par. Boom, almost had the birdie. Hole number 1, I'm throwing the pine here. The pine's a great mid-range from Westside. Nice little, slightly stable mid-range. It's great. I have a birdie chance here. Just a little right, little short right. Gonna take the easy par. Gonna throw, I think this is a stag again. Yep, this is a stag on hole 2. Came out just as a little early on me, so went the inside gap, and this is my first unforced error of the day. Just horrible approach with that. I'm gonna give it a run here, try to save the par. Just a little low, and it's gonna just roll all the way away for me. Keep rolling, keep going. And this is a safe bogey. There we go. Hole 3, playing from the long pads, throwing the warship. I'm just taking a mid-range and just trying to get it up to the gap, get it close to the short pad. And I'm just in front of the short pad. I'm just a little bit too far left up against this tree. I'm going to take the stag, and I'm trying to just throw a kind of a hyzer flip down the middle, and it didn't really flip for me. So I'm out here left. Little thumber up towards the basket. Just trying to play this for the par. It is a par 4. Hole 4, throwing, I think that's the boatman. Throwing the boatman here. Really good shot out of the hand. It's just the boatman's a little more stable than I expected, and kind of threw me left over here. And keep an eye on this tarp. This can come into play next round. You're not going to see it on video, but I'll tell you when it comes into play. But just overturned that tie. That was a horrible forehand. Taking the swan here, and I put it on a great turnover backhand line, and it just stopped turning over. I was like, this is not a swan. A swan should have held that all the way through. It's a -1-0. It should not have fought out of that. But it did. And so this is for me to try to save par. And I'm just going to throw it up kind of next to the basket and take my bogey. Hole 5, I think that was the stag off the tee. Just throwing it down in the middle. And take the pine for my approach shot. And actually, I put this right under the basket. I'm showing the putt here just so you can see how close I put that one for the par, because you couldn't really see it behind that tree. But easy par hole. Hole number 6, I think that's the boatman. And kind of got a little too nose up and just kind of crashed in over here on the left. But I'm going to take my maiden and just throw it down here to the basket and put it right behind the basket, about probably 8 feet. So easy par. Throwing the hatchet here on hole 7. And this is where things start to go downhill. Ripped it way right into the trees. I've got a small gap. I tried to get through and missed it with the anvil there, and this is my 3rd shot trying to get out of these trees. Still can't get out of them. And I'm gonna take the swan on a turnover. This is for a 4. And once again, it comes out of it. I was like, this is my practice round. I felt like the swan got more and more stable the more I threw it. It was weird. My practice round with it, it would hold turnovers like exactly like you expected. But the more I threw it, the more stable it got, and the less it was weird. I've never seen a disc get more stable the more I threw it. But throwing the tide here on hole number 8, a really good shot. Held the line I wanted. Got it up here close to the basket. It's gonna give me a birdie attempt. And if that branch hadn't hit it, I think it had a good chance of making it, but it took a par. Hole number 9. This was just awful, an awful hole. Throwing the thumber with the Ati and absolutely hit that tree.
Oh, that was gonna be good.
Gotta take the warship and just throw it down the middle. Just trying to get it down to the bottom so I can try to get it up the hill. Landed in a good position. I couldn't decide between the harp or the anvil. I decided to do the harp and try to just toss it up. I should have taken an anvil and just threw it as hard as I could. It hits the wall and it rolls about 80 to 90 feet. Watch this. Look at this. It just keeps rolling about 80 to 90 feet. Absolutely awful. So I just take the anvil here and I just rip it up the hill. I didn't care if I threw it into the street. I just threw it up the hill. This is for the 5. No change needed. And then finally, hole number 10. I'm going to throw the tide on a forehand again. 7 to 9 basically destroyed this round. And really kind of put the nail in the coffin for Westside. And it wasn't Westside's fault. It was 100% me. I just had really bad decision making on those 2 holes. But hole number 10, last hole, I'm taking a pretty easy par here. Alright, so round 1 did not go as planned. I expected better out of myself. Especially, I did one practice round with both of these bags, one with the Westside, one with the Clash. And the Westside round I actually did very well. I won an MA2 league match the first time I used the bag. And today I just didn't show up. A lot of it is this course. This is a lot longer course than I'm usually better at. I play much better at kind of shorter technical courses. But this course you got to have distance for, and I did very well up until the last 4 holes, as you saw. Hole 7 and hole 9 just killed my entire round pretty much with this bag. So, you know, we'll see what happens round 2. Clash might just run away with this, but you know, if I can keep the errors down in round 2, Clash is going to take it. But Westside did good for me. I made the mistake. I messed it up. So, you know, round 2 we're going to be using the popcorns for my putters. That is the softy plastic. For my throwing putters, I'm going to be throwing a steady popcorn and a steady fudge. For my mids, I will be throwing the peppermint for the approach. I'll be throwing the peach for my understable mid, the berry for my stable mid, and my mango for the overstable mid. And then for the drivers, we'll be throwing the soda, the lotus, the ginger, the spice for the firebird, slot, the vanilla, the honey, wild honey, and finally the salt, which is the destroyer of their lineup. So pretty good lineup actually. With Clash, you know, they kind of cover all the bases there. So looking forward to round 2, and we'll see if somehow Westside can hold on and take this. But you know, ultimately that's gonna be up to me and how I play. So let's get into round 2. All right, round 2, we're starting on hole 12. I'm gonna throw the peach, trying to get it on a little turnover backhand. Started off real well, just didn't quite get on the right line, so I kicked left into this cutoff area, and I decide just to toss it out into the middle, and I'm just going to play for bogey. So I'm going to take the popcorn here. I really like this popcorn. It is a great approach disc for backhands. Got it up here nice and close to the basket, and for the bogey. And I just noticed that little foot fault there with the disc, but didn't realize I did that in the round. Hole number 13, throwing the vanilla off the tee. Really good shot. Really liked it. Actually got to the short grass this time. Long bid here for the birdie. Putting with popcorns as well. The softy popcorns. Put it behind the basket. Pretty easy tap in for bogey. I'm sorry, for par. Throwing the salt here on a forehand. I probably should have learned from this one later in the round, but you know, we'll get to that when we get there. But just came out early. Most of my forehands today were coming out a little early on me. I was leaking them out to the right, but I got a little turnover backhand with the peach. Expected it to be a little bit closer here, but it kind of fell out short on me. But it's a long putt here for par. Almost had it. Starting off the same way as last round, bogey bogey. Gotta throw the wild honey on hole 15. And you know, I've thrown a wild honey before. It's been a long time, but the one I had before was way more flippy. This is the most stable wild honey I've seen. It just does not flip. But I'm gonna take the popcorn and literally put it on the basket. So that was an easy par. Hole 16, I'm gonna throw the vanilla again. I'm trying to get it to turn over for me, and it's coming out a little early. Could be because it's a new disc, you know, it's just not beat in yet. But it's not really flying like a -2-1, at least not yet. But it has a good feel to it, has a really good flight to it. It's just not exactly doing what I want. But I'm gonna make this par putt here. A little high with that, but it still caught. All right, I'm taking the spice and I'm throwing it on a thumber line here. And out of the hand, we all thought this was going to be perfect, and I just caught that tree in the middle, kicked me left, and this is my approach. Probably got lucky right here with that tree hit, but it's going to be a fairly easy putt here for the par. Just a little nervy because of the uphill, and I'm being forced to straddle putt, but I was able to save the par. Throwing the spice on a thumber line like I did last round with the Ati, but the spice actually went left on me. It was a strange flight. I haven't seen a disc on a thumber like that fly like that yet, and it actually rolled left on me. So I've got a long approach here to try to save the par. But put it up nice and close, you know. Probably about a 12-15 footer here to save the par. Hole 1, I'm going to throw the berry. I'm just thinking of throwing it like I did the pine last round. Really good shot out of the hand, got around the gap. And I did catch a late tree that stopped it, so I didn't get quite as close as I did with the pine. But this is a hole that I say is, it's a gap hole, it's not a line hole. There's not really a line here. If you get up in that middle part where I was and you see those trees, anyone that gets through there, it's a lucky shot. I mean, there's no line, they're gaps. And you can get through it. You know, I'm not saying you can't get through it. I'm saying that when you do get through it, you know, it's not necessarily because you hit a perfect line, because there is not really a line. You just got lucky getting through the trees. Anytime I get through, it's just a luck shot. But that was a par on hole 2. Hole 3, I'm throwing the vanilla here. Probably should have went with the mid-range again and just gone through the middle, but I was trying to force this one, and I had a gap that just did miss with that forehand, and so this is my recovery forehand. Throwing the spice again. and put it right down here in the middle. And I'm just going to toss it up and take my bogey. Yep, put it right under the basket. Hole 5, I'm going to throw... What am I throwing here? This is vanilla. And came out a little early on me again. And that right here, my disc was under that tarp. I pulled that tarp back. It slid under the tarp. I looked for it for a while, and one of the guys on the card pulled the tarp up, and my disc had slid underneath the tarp. But I'm taking the salt here, much better forehand than I did last round to get out of that. And this is going to be just one of my worst shots I've ever thrown with an approach disc. That was horrible. I don't know what happened. The disc just kind of fell out of my hands. This is to try to save par. So close. I got lucky. It just stopped and didn't roll all the way down that hill. But took a bogey. Throwing the Wild Honey here on hole number 6. And see, I even got it flat nose down and it did not turn. It was just straight and then dumped. It's a stable Wild Honey. Throwing my popcorn. Kind of went a little bit too inside with it. Be a long putt here to save par. This is Circle's Edge. Hole 7, I'm going to throw the Lotus for the first time today. I think this might be my only time throwing it, but it's a really good disc. Threw it real well out of the hand. Crashed a little early on me, but had a great line to it. Just going to toss the popcorn up. And this came up a little bit shorter than I expected it to. But I was able, to make this for par. It's only about a 10-footer, maybe 12 feet. Hole 7, going to throw the salt here on a forehand. And out of the hand, it felt great. It just didn't turn at all. I did throw it a little bit inside. I should have been a little bit more to the left, but I get caught off in here. But I am able to see a line to this tree with a thumber. And it was going great. I caught a tree down here at the very bottom, which did not let me flare back up towards the basket. So this is a long putt for par. Almost had it. Just came up about maybe 3 feet short. I'm gonna. So that was a bogey. Gonna take the vanilla here on a turnover forehand line. I just want to get it a little bit high and just turned over. And I threw it a little too outside. If I'd been more inside with that, I think I'd have been real close to the basket. But it was a great flight, great shot. And I do have a chance here for a birdie. It's probably about a 50-foot, 60-footer. But easy par. We had a backup here, so we've been sitting for probably about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So I was just doing a little stretching there. But I'm going to throw the spice on the thumber line. I meant to throw round 1. Perfect. Gets me down over halfway to the basket. And it's just going to be an approach. And I decided I'm just going to take the spudge and just throw it up to the base. I'm trying not to hit the base. I just want to kind of land in front of it. Mission accomplished. Perfect. And this is my shout out to Brody. Brody Smith. Little scuba. Bam. Scuba save for the par. Hole number 10. I'm going to throw the soda on a backhand. Trying to go up that middle gap. And out of the hand, it felt absolutely wonderful. Got way up there, hit, rolled back about maybe 8 feet or so, but it's fine. And I'm going to give it a little run here, trying to make this long birdie putt. Very nice. Just in front of the basket. And for the par. And now hole 11, where I tried to give it all away and actually give Westside a chance of making a comeback. I'm going to throw the vanilla off the tee. Really good shot with the vanilla. Absolutely perfect. Right down the gap. Or right down the middle. This is where I mess up. I don't know why I said in my head I'm going to try to throw to the basket with this salt on a forehand. I had no reason to try to crank it there, and it just came out of my hand way early and threw right into the trees. That should have been a putter to finish out the hole, and all I could do was toss out here. That was for one, two. That was for my third shot. This is for the par, to try to save par. And I actually gave it a great run, very close to actually making that. And this is to finish with a bogey. And done. Alright, so as you probably saw from the video, round 2, Clash actually did much better. Clash won by 3 strokes over Westside today. 9 over with Westside, 6 over with Clash, and actually probably should have been 5 over, but you saw that last hole. I went for it on that second shot, trying to throw it to the basket, and just absolutely flubbed that forehand. Really bad shot, but was able to save the bogey, keep it to 6 over. I gotta say, I didn't know which one was going to win that for me, because I really liked both bags. The Westside Discs were great. Nothing bad at all to say about them. They all flew great, felt great. VIP plastic, orbit plastic, all that stuff is wonderful. Their BT base plastic feels great. So nothing bad to say about them. It's just today Clash just threw a little bit better. Had some bad rollaways round 1 with the Westside. That kind of added to that. That whole 7 and 9 basically killed the whole round, and kind of killed the trial there, the competition. Those 4 strokes and 2 holes, just it was kind of over at that point, unless I just had a really bad round 2. But overall, great tournament. Looks like I moved up four places from round 2. Was able to move into 18th out of 23, so pretty good for being 21. No, I think I was 22 out of 23 when we started round 2. Yeah, that makes sense, because I'm four better. So finished 18 out of 23. Overall, good round. Gonna have to say goodbye to Westside in my bag. So those will be up at Yeet Street sometime this week in the used bin, if you're interested in any of those. Like I say, they were wonderful. Wonderful discs. Absolutely nothing bad at all to say about them. They all flew exactly like I expected them to. Just today, Clash was a little bit better on this Saturday. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Catch you again next time.